It's recording. Alright, it's recording. Alright. Folks, I ain't feeling real well. I've been going through some medical issues and stuff like that, man. Been having some real problems. But I've had to replace the alternator on my Nissan XTerra, which it's a cool car. I mean, I like it. It's got a good stereo system. It's just not the car that I really wanted. But we were pushed into it and had a kid on the way. So, you know how things go. I searched my ass off on YouTube and Google trying to figure out how to do this alternator replacement. A little background on myself. I'm a Federal Aviation Administration airframe power plant license holder. I'm also a Federal Communications Commission ground radio operator. So I'm a FAA, AMP, and I'm FCC GROL, or GROL. I'm not fucking dumb to anything that's mechanical. I'm pretty smart to it, actually. So I had to do this job on my own. I also looked around on YouTube, seeing if I could find any kind of videos that would give me some help, maybe some guidance, maybe little tricks, maybe something about replacing the alternator on a Nissan XTerra of this year. It's 2006. Couldn't find a single one. I could find some others, and they're all like 2002, and they're talking way over here. You know, the fucking alternator used to be over there, I guess, somewhere. I don't know. I'm standing at the front of the engine. Either way, anyhow, or as the little ding-dongs will say, anywho, fuck all them motherfuckers. Some of you watch my videos. I don't have a whole bunch. But, let me break this down. And this might help out somebody who's got a Nissan XTerra, alright, with blown to shit alternator, and you want to replace it. The first thing I would say would be this. Loosen these bolts here. Right there. Just loosen them up. Get this fucking stupid piece of shit plastic cover out of your way. It really doesn't serve any purpose. I've looked at it. It doesn't do anything. It's just there to say V6 4.0. Well, thank you very fucking much. I already know that. I could have checked my owner's manual and get that kind of crap, you know. After you do that, this could be 2 bolts. Loosen them up. They're for this thing. And it goes here. Go ahead and loosen that up. It's an air box. Whatever the fuck. It cools off the air going into the intake. I think I just dropped a bolt. That's alright, I'll find it. The reason why you want to do that is just get shit out of your way. There's a clamp that goes here on the intake, and there's another clamp that goes here on your air box for your intake filter. Just get that crap out of the way. Alright. You start digging down. You want a 3/4 inch wrench. So you can loosen up the serpentine belt. First car I've ever messed with that had a serpentine belt. they're kind of intimidating at first, but then they start making a whole lot of sense. I like serpentine belts. Now that I've messed with them, they're a good plan of attack. Get your serpentine belt out of the way, and with your alternator, this could be way, 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 way down into here on a 2006 Nissan XTerra. Now, I've been a mechanic for 15 years, and what I can tell you is this. Engineers, they come up with all kinds of really cool, crazy new stuff, and at the same time, they create problems for us mechanics. Get everything out of the way. It will make this job easier. Just get everything out of the way. Look, you're looking at 2 bolts. Loosen up 2 more bolts, and you get rid of that air box. Alright, get rid of the air box, and then you have clean access to the arm for your serpentine belt, and you have clean access down. You don't even have to get under this car if you're removing the alternator. I'm going to dingle-dangle the camera down a little bit. What you're looking at right now is where the alternator goes. Alright. When you're down in there, there's 1 bolt. Oh, come on, baby. Come on. Turn. You got 2 bolts to hold the alternator on. And you got a third that, here we go. You got 2 bolts holding the alternator on. One is right there on this arm that goes up to here. Shit. You're gonna want to take that one out first and loosen that arm. Okay? Then you're gonna have a through bolt. A through bolt is a long bolt, and it holds the whole goddamn alternator. Alright? Then you're gonna have an electrical connector that is actually bolted down, and then you're gonna have an electrical connector that is like a plug. You might see these things down here. Look, I'm just holding my camera by a fucking string, so I don't even know what it shows, but I hope you get an idea. Alright. Come back up. Alright. Here is the through bolt. That is called a through bolt. It runs through the alternator and it holds it on. This is the other bolt that goes to that armature I was talking about. Alright, you take this one out first. You take that bolt out first. This one is gonna probably be second. Now that we've covered, like, you know, the basics of ripping your engine apart, ripping things apart, getting the serpentine belt out of the way, and digging down into there. Here are my tricks and tips, alright? I ain't no fucking auto mechanic. I'm an aircraft mechanic. Look. Number 1, you want to remove your battery. That's the first thing you do. And as we all know, you always disconnect your ground first. And the reason being is you don't want to be over here fiddle fucking with the goddamn wrench, bang it into the side of the car, and get a spark. So, ta-da! Get your fucking battery out of the way. Take your battery out, take the stupid little piece of plastic out, and it's going to give you access down into your car, into your XTerra. Alright? You can do this whole job from the top side. Sorry, hold on. Anyways. If you got an XTerra, alright, and it's 2006, this is the way to run the job. Alright? You gotta get the air box out of the way. You start digging down. Alright? The one thing I would say to remove is down in here. Alright, I'm gonna put my hand on it. It is this line right here. All right, it's just a freaking antifreeze line. All right, just don't let it lean down towards the ground. It'll drain out. So you pull that off and wrap it around somewhere else. But it helps to get that out of your way, because down here it's right here and it's in your way, okay? Just like the serpentine belt will be. You just want to tuck that thing up. Don't worry about it too much. Alright, so let's break it down. What have I talked about? You move the air dam out of here. We're talking about a clamp. We're talking about another clamp. A hose. Alright. You loosen these bolts here. You loosen the bolts up here. When you loosen the bolts up here, you can get in there to loosen these, and it basically pops off. It's not a very complex thing. If you look at if you look at its design, it pops right back on. All right, it's pretty simple shit. Okay, you just shove it right back on. You got some little rubber bumpers in here. They're split-tailed. You shove it back in there and tighten it up. Tighten up your fuckface cover. Get your clamps back on the hoses. Alright, all that's done. You deal with your serpentine belt. Now the bolts. The bolts for the alternator. I'd use a breaker bar to actually loosen them. They're that tight. I'd use a breaker bar. No shit, I'd use a breaker bar. That's how tight they were. And getting everything out of the way lets you use a breaker bar. Because with everything in the way, you can't use a breaker bar. So that's how that worked. I figured 2 clamps, 4 bolts, you know, it was much easier to deal with. Now getting the alternator out, because this is only just part 1. I'm not going to show you my mechanical skills. That just isn't going to happen. I pulled this thing out in 1 hour. If you know a better way to do it, go ahead and leave it in the descriptions below. Or if you have other ideas, you know, help us out, because this is the only video on YouTube for 2006 Nissan XTerra alternator removal. And everything helps. But when you're actually done pulling your main bolt out, you know, and you've got your leads off, and I'll talk about the leads, the electrical leads, in a second. The best way to get it out of here, let's get a good angle on this, is right here. Is through the dust cover. If you don't do it through the dust cover, you will not be able to get that alternator out through the bottom of the car, or, like most of us mechanics know, through the top of the car. It will not fit either or any way. The only way to get it out is through the dust cover on the side. And it's pretty flexible stuff, so don't worry about breaking it. Just push it through. You know, like anything else, it's just plastic. Now the electrical leads. The electrical leads, you don't want to be at this angle right here when you're working. You want to be over at this angle. And it's kind of a bitch to get down through into there. But what you're going to want is probably, I don't know, I had every 3/8 extension I own coupled to a 3/4 or a 3/4 inch coupled to a 3/4 inch universal to a socket. Alright, I don't know who's working a Nissan, but them motherfuckers do not understand torque or what it's about. Or maybe it's an automotive thing, but holy smokes, that thing was on tight. But when you want to get down to your electrical lead, you go through here all the way down, okay, and knock the nut off. Actually, here, this is kind of a good example. Those fuckers put that thing on so tight that the lock washer is actually seized to the nut. So we're not joking around, folks. Johnny Armstrong, that motherfucker, he showed up to the shop to help put these cars together. That's your main power lead. The electrical lead, which is a plug, I just went through the side over here with a real long pair of cheap needle nose pliers, and I was able to pop it off. It took me about a second. finger fucking it with my hand, that didn't work. But I just popped it off with my hand. Alright, with some needle nose pliers. If you're gonna do this job, alright, we're gonna sum it all up right now. We're gonna sum the whole job up. 2006 Nissan XTerra. First part, loosen these bolts. Loosen these up, get your air dam out of the way. Pop your clamps, pull that fucker out of there. Get it out so you can access easily your serpentine belt. Get the tension off your serpentine belt. You can do it right here. I'm gonna dangle my phone, my camera again. I hope that showed it. But you dangle your fucking 3/4/8 goddamn ratchet. Pull that son of a bitch down. You pull the serpentine belt. Alright. Serpentine belt. Off your alternator. Disconnect your battery. Get the battery and the battery tray out of here. Get down in there. You got two fucking bolts you got to worry about. You got your through bolt. Alright. That's what really holds it all together. And then you got your other bolt, and that just goes to like a fucking idle tensioner or some shit. It's actually just a second bolt to hold it. So then it's kind of free. Get your two connectors out of the way. You know, get your electrical connectors off of it. Get this line right here off. Pull it off. Shove it over somewhere else because it's going to be in your fucking way. Okay? I've only got it kind of set back on for the sake of not losing too much antifreeze. And once you have it all done, you're going to have to wiggle it. You're going to sit there, you're going to have to wiggle it. Because some bitch is tight in there. And that's just the way the new cars are. But once you have it loose, and it's free, because you got two connectors, two bolts, once you have it free, you go through the side over here. And I hope this helps. I'm going to do a part 2 after I put all this back together. And if I have any kind of tricks or anything that I discover while I'm putting it back together, I will let you know. This is Doberman's Rock. Y'all have a good day.